struggled with speaking under pressure as a leader? Well, in this video, this very brief video, I'm going to share with you what it means to speak with confidence under pressure and what most leaders are getting wrong about being able to speak under pressure. Now, if this sounds like a topic that you want to learn more information about, or it sounds the least bit interesting to you, you absolutely want to stay until the end of this video and take some notes, because this is very much an issue that people deal with. And if you've ever struggled with this as a leader, speaking under pressure, not knowing what to say, then this is the place for you. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you are liking this information so far, and get ready to learn some information. I'm going to share with you over 20 years worth of experience as a executive and director to help you go to that next level as you're communicating as a leader. So I want to say hello to Pankaj Singh. Hello, B2G8X. Welcome. How are you doing today? And Pankaj Singh. Doctor, Happy New Year. Sorry for the late wish. No problem, Pankaj. I'm glad that you are here. I hope you have a very happy new year and a very wonderful and prosperous 2026 as well. Now, I'm going to share with you why leaders get this wrong, or what they are getting wrong as it relates to speaking under pressure and sounding very confident. Most of the time, whether you are a woman in leadership, and if you are a woman in leadership, you're in my direct target audience in terms of who I work with to provide executive coaching and consulting services to. If you are a man in leadership, you may struggle with this. Or maybe if you're thinking about leadership and you're just not sure how to go about the process, you're going to learn something here also. I want to share with you why people struggle with this. Many of the times, people struggle with speaking under pressure for a lot of reasons. I talked about this yesterday very briefly, and one of the things that comes up that I talked about yesterday during the live, it was very short, but oftentimes we're not taught how to speak under pressure. And this is something that's very important. If you're not taught how to speak under pressure, it's going to be a little difficult for you to learn how to speak under pressure. So before I go into why leaders get this wrong specifically in terms of sounding confident when they're speaking under pressure, let me see what's going on in the chat. Pankaj Singh says, do you forget about me? No, not at all. I could not forget about you at all. I know you are very supportive of the channel, and I appreciate you being here. And if you're watching now, watching live, welcome. Glad you're here today. If you're watching the replay, let me know if you've ever really worried about speaking under pressure as a leader. Maybe it's something you just have not been able to master. Let me know in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Let's go get some strategies ready for you for 2026. Now, as I mentioned, many people struggle with speaking under pressure because, one, they're not taught how to do so. They're not taught how to speak under pressure. So they don't really know, like, how can you do it? How can you manage it? And all those things. What leaders get wrong about speaking under pressure is the following. Many leaders think that they have to know exactly what to say. They have to know everything. Like, they have to be the encyclopedia that knows all. And that's not the case. When you're speaking under pressure, you don't have to know everything. You do not. There's ways for you to work around this. And we're going to talk about this in just a few moments. So I want to say hello to Miriam Fifi. Hello, Miriam. How you doing today? And Miriam says, oh, did you forget me too? No, Miriam, I did not. I'm glad you're here today. Welcome. I appreciate you being here today. And Pankaj Singh says, I miss your live every day. Yes, so we just had holiday, right? We had a little bit of a holiday break. And so I had a couple days I was actually off. But now I'm back to my normal schedule in the morning, in the afternoon for live. So everything is back as it should be. When there's typically a holiday, I probably will not be live, but for the most part, I will be here to support y'all as much as I can. We have Lonnie Burton. Welcome back, Lonnie. How you doing today? Happy New Year. Hope you are doing well today, Lonnie. Miriam says, you are so nice. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And we have good morning, Bishop Burton. Okay, Bishop Burton, welcome. Hope you're doing well today. And Happy New Year. Hope everything is going well for you. So what do leaders get wrong about speaking under pressure? They believe and they think that they have to know everything. Like, they have to know the encyclopedia of every topic to speak under pressure. So what happens is, when that occurs, people will not want to speak under pressure because they feel like they have to know everything. That's not the case. You do not have to know everything when you're trying to speak under pressure. The key to speaking under pressure, and this is what leaders get wrong, is that they think they have to know everything. But the key to it is how you respond. Sometimes it's not even necessarily what you say, but it's how you say it. For example, if you know you are in an under pressure type situation and you are at a point where someone asks you a question, maybe it's a contentious conversation that's happening, and you have one or two ways to respond. You can either respond confidently, as if you know what you're talking about, or you can respond unconfidently and be afraid. Sometimes leaders, they're caught off guard. We're all caught off guard when we're trying to speak in this situation where we're under pressure. Sometimes we're caught off guard and we don't know exactly what to say. So you don't want to appear as if you, even if you don't know what you're saying, you do not want to appear as if you don't know what you're saying. Does that make sense? So the way you do it is by controlling how you speak. Now I have a lot of videos here on my live channel that specifically talk about managing your emotions under pressure, having difficult conversations, your tone of voice, eye contact, and etc. I'm not going to go into all of that today specifically because there's a lot of videos on my channel that talk about that. But I do want to let you know that it is really about how you're communicating, not necessarily all of the times what you are saying. An example, how can you sound confident when you are under pressure? What can you do? Well, first, you can sound more confident when you're under pressure, and I don't want you to make the contrary mistake, is to be calm in your response. An easy way for you to be calm in your response when you are speaking under pressure is to slow down how you are speaking. Now, you may be wondering, well, I don't want to sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't want to sound like I'm speaking so slow I don't know what I'm doing. There's a couple of things that happens to you, believe it or not, when you are speaking a bit slower than you normally would be. One is it causes you to think. You have to think about what exactly is it that I need to say. Number two, you also want to slow down because it actually helps to calm you down when you are speaking and talking to someone. So when you're actually in those situations where you're speaking and you're talking to someone and you slow down, it causes your mind to kind of calm down and say, okay, wait, I need to think about what I'm trying to say, how I'm trying to say it, and make sure it comes across correctly. This is a really great way for you to sound confident when you're speaking under pressure. And as I mentioned before, leaders get this wrong. They feel like they have to know everything. You do not have to know everything. You have to be able to control how you are responding in those pressure situations. Now, before I go into more insights, and I want to know from you, have you ever been in a pressure situation where you didn't know what to say as a leader? Let me know. Let's talk about it in the comments below. So I want to say hello to Pratik Galatkar 1011. Welcome Pratik. Good morning and good afternoon. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you again. We have Dana Ferris. Hello, Dana Forrest. Okay, sorry about that. Hello, Dana. Hope you're doing well today. So let me know what questions you all have about speaking under pressure as a leader. For those of you who've just joined, I mentioned to you what leaders get wrong about speaking under pressure. And the main issue that leaders get incorrect about speaking under pressure is that they think they have to know everything. They think they have to know everything. They have to know all information that is required about the topic specifically. You don't have to know everything. You do not. But you do have to know how to respond. And if you respond in a slower way, a calmer way, it makes you sound like you know what you're talking about, if that makes sense. So Pratik Galatkar says, how are you doing today? Pratik, I'm doing fantastically well today, friend. Good to be back. Good to be back on the live schedule. So I'm really glad to be here with you all today. So we talked about this, speaking more calmly. That is one way that you can still come across as if you know what's going on, even if you do not when you're speaking under pressure. Now, let me see what's going on in the chat. Something came up. Bishop Burton says, I am not very comfortable speaking at large conferences, mainly churches. Well, Bishop Burton, well, of course, I hope you're subscribed to the channel. I believe you might be, but this is definitely a great place for you to be, to start mastering those skills. So a question for you, Bishop Burton, is when you are at those conferences, this is one tip I want to share with you. And I want you to keep this in mind the next time you go to a conference. And if you have something specific that you're planning for, you're always welcome to join my lives. We can always go over ideas and talk about them. I have a bit more time in the evenings than I do in the mornings. But if you ever want to go over ideas and kind of talk things through, you're always welcome to talk to me in the lives. But remember something, Bishop. When you're going to these conferences, they ask you to speak. They ask you to come. And when someone asks you to come and speak or do a presentation as a leader, regardless of what role you're in, whether you're a public official or maybe you are in an organization or a bishop of a church, there's a certain level of expertise that people know that you have. And oftentimes when we're asked to go into conferences and etc., we just become very very nervous. We're just like, oh gosh, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I'm just not comfortable doing this. But remember, you are an expert in your field. You are an expert. There's a reason why these individuals have reached out to you specifically to come to this particular event. So keep that in mind the next time when you have a conference you have to go to. This is really an opportunity for you to showcase your expertise and to help other people. That's what we're here for. That's why we're all trying to become amazing leaders, because we really do want to help other people. And so, Bishop Burton, the next time you go to a conference, remember, you are an expert in your field. So that will give you a bit of a boost of confidence so that you start feeling more comfortable. Now, there's a lot more that goes to it. What do you say? How do you say it? When do you say it? That's why you learn from me as a public speaker for over the past 20 years to help you really do that. But if you have any other questions, let me know. And you're always welcome to put something in the comments on any of my videos. I'd be happy to give you any response and help you to be able to feel more confident when you are speaking in front of those large audiences. So Particulate Car 1011 says, you have already solved many of my questions. I'm actually here to know about problems other people have so that I will learn from their insights. Well, awesome. Well, that's great, Pratik, and I'm so glad you're here. I always just appreciate you being a part of the channel. And what Bishop Burton mentioned a moment ago is something that many people, as they elevate into leadership roles, they become more visible. And they struggle with this a bit. They're not exactly sure of how can they step up, if that makes sense. Level up or go to that level where they can actually communicate publicly in front of a lot of people. And Particulate Car, this is something that I know about your role and where you are right now, but as you continue to elevate yourself and grow, you're going to be in those very public places as well, friend. And this is a great opportunity, as you mentioned, to learn from other people. Many people struggle with public speaking, and I talk about this on my channel so many times, that most people in the world, regardless of what country you're from, where you live, and etc., they struggle with three things. They struggle with public speaking, they struggle with eye contact, and they struggle with silence. Therefore, if you can work on those strategies specifically, it will help you to be in a better position than most people. And that's why you subscribe to the channel. This is where you learn how to communicate at a higher level than your peers, and that means other people that you are potentially working with as well. So Bishop Burton says, can you offer any techniques on sweaty palm prior to getting up to speed? Well, I will say this, and Bishop Burton, I'll talk a bit more about this evening just for you. And a particular car says, yes, very true, absolutely. But one of the things you want to keep in mind in terms of those sweaty palms, it's your nerves. You're nervous. It's in here. In your mind, you are nervous about what you're doing, which is why your palms become a bit sweaty. This can happen to some of the best leaders. Okay, Bishop Burton, the best leaders can actually struggle with this as well. So I don't want you to feel as if this only is happening to you because you're nervous. Some of the best speakers still, when they're about to go on to big stages, they still feel a little bit nervous. So that's okay. It's just a matter of calming yourself down, knowing that you're an expert and there's a reason why they have you at this conference specifically. But you mentioned a really good topic, and so what I will do later this afternoon when I go live this evening, I'll dive a bit more into the topic and give you some insights and maybe some strategies to help you mentally prepare yourself so that you're not as nervous. Another thing, Bishop Burton, before I leave here, is that the more you speak, the more comfortable you become. So try to speak as much as you can, be out there as much as you can. I know you do a lot, obviously, with your congregation, but just get out there and speak. Practice makes perfect. The more you speak, the better things will go. So I'm going to finish this live with that today. Bishop Burton will talk a bit more about maybe some strategies, some mindfulness techniques you can do before you're going into those presentations. I'll give you a shout out in the video as well. I appreciate you all for being here. And if you have any questions as it relates to this topic, put it in the comments below. Just let me know. And I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.